rocking and rolling. A big news has just happened for you, right?
Absolutely, Neil. Thank you so much for having me back on. It's official. We got our official designation as a nonprofit organization through the federal government. We're making an announcement today, so now we start the whole official process. Developing those key partnerships, starting to fundraise and start working towards finalizing this online recording platform we want to use so that we can capture every veteran and veteran spouse transition story and create this sortable database that's going to benefit our community by hearing all these amazing stories and learning about the resources that are out there to help them.
I think it's fantastic. It's got to feel great.
Oh, it's amazing, especially when you start tracking it online and you're like, oh, they're not even going to get to it till next year. So it was a great surprise. And it happened during the shutdown, which is even more amazing to me. So just absolutely, over the moon about it.
So they must have certain people still working.
Yeah, it must.
Oh my goodness. And just I guess then the brainstorming begins
Oh,
that you can start taking donations, all the different things, and you can start really getting the organization running and having plans where it goes next.
Oh, absolutely. So over the last, 10 months or so, we've taken several steps. We've written our bylaws. The bylaws have been approved. We put a board together. The board's approved it. We've had board meetings already. We've developed a fundraising campaign that we want to roll out. We're looking at an ambassador program that we're going to call Lifeguard. So we're going to be looking for key individuals around the country that want to be, mouthpieces for Vet SOS and help spread the word and help us gain the followings we need because the podcasts aren't changing. We're going to keep going with the podcast. We'll maybe even have a few more that come out. And there's a couple of other opportunities we're looking at. So that there's all these different things that we can get our hands in. And, the team that we have right now is amazing. And there's a couple of people on the horizon, potentially joining the team that are just going to take us to the next level. So it's exciting. It really is.
Very, very exciting. And you're just smiling ear to ear for sure. And what do you think now, with you being now a foundation, what goals do you set for yourself till the end of the year?
So I think that from here till the end of the year is really trying to get everything locked in. The board is going to meet a couple more times before the end of the year, making sure that we're getting everything in place the way we want it, and then really start putting that plan together for next year on grants that we're going to apply for and go after. What states we're strategically going to move to for fundraising first, and how we're going to roll that out, and then of course building the ambassador program. So we got people out there talking about it. So it's going to be a grassroots movement where we're really going to just try to build momentum and steam. And next year, who knows if we're in the right spot, then maybe we start having booths at some of these events and conferences I go to. And as we keep bringing more people into the organization to help it grow, it's more people we're going to be able to help. And that's the exciting part is, we try to educate and help people now, but now as a nonprofit, I think we have even more opportunities to do that, and the whole team's pretty excited about it.
The transition stories. Go into the transition stories more.
So that ultimately is the biggest goal that I have, and that is, creating this sortable database online of transition stories from every veteran and veteran spouse. We want those transition stories, and we're talking with a couple organizations for potential partnerships that already have the recording capability. And so being able to do that, put it on our website, and people can actually go in there and sort by the different demographics or psychographics or what have you to figure out the stories they want to listen to. Go in and maybe you want to listen to stories by only Marines or only Air Force or officer enlisted, whatever. You can sort by that, but you can also sort by things like suicidal ideations and depression, alcoholism, homelessness, and you can hear real stories of people who went through these struggles. Some of these stories are going to have great outcomes where they found their way through it, and we're going to hopefully share those resources so people know where they can go to get this type of help. And there's going to be some people that are still going through things, so the biggest thing with this whole database is we want to show people they're not alone. And as veterans, we're all struggling with something, and a lot of us have found the help we need to try to move past it, and some of us are still working through it. But most definitely, the big thing for me is just being able to share those stories and let people know they're not alone. And even if you're clicking on it at 2 a.m. and it happens to change the trajectory of your life, that means the world to me. Hopefully we can have that kind of impact.
That's the key, right? the huge impact, and veterans with going through their issues of transitioning and all these different things, you're finally creating that plan and having this out in the open with all your shows.
Absolutely. And I get a lot of grief from the team, about being the face of it and this and that, and it has nothing to do with that. I don't want to be the face of it in that sense. I fully believe in the team we have, and I'm so grateful for everybody who's been a part of this along the way. That from Mark being the first co-host and helping me get this started, and where we took it, and then Eric coming on board, and now Keith, and yeah, Kingsley and Hira, and it just continuously people joining us to want to educate and share information with our community, and that's just such an amazing feeling to have that kind of group around you of people who truly care and want to get back. And ultimately together, I think with that and the people we've put on the board, we have people who want to make a difference, that they care about the veteran community, and that's going to carry us forward. And that's where the real impact is going to come from.
Because the impact can happen through donations, help, volunteering. I
Oh
guess
yeah.
now you can start the whole process of getting more and more volunteers
Oh
together,
yeah.
because if you're not raising money, there really can't be volunteers. But now you're raising money so you can have volunteers. I think that was probably one of your things waiting on. You can't go and sell people on, hey, come help us out for what? Now it's time. And that's exciting because we've been talking about it for the last year to finally see the process, to finally
Yep.
have that paperwork and you're ready to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we've had some great people who have volunteered with us already, and continue to volunteer with us. And as we move forward, we're going to be looking for a lot more volunteers. And we're also going to be looking to bring people on full time, to be a part of this organization and help take it to the next level. And as that develops, hopefully it's those volunteers stepping into those permanent roles, and we can continue to help the community that way as well.
All right, best place to go.
VetSOSpodcast.com.
All right, you're listening and watching the Neil Haley